Nick, one of our favorite things to talk about way too early, the NFL draft. And today we have round one, pick number 29. The Miami Dolphins are on the board. What are we thinking they're going to do here?
So at this point in the draft, late in the first round, this is all about getting a lineman, either offense or defensive lineman. The best skill players are off the board. The best quarterbacks are gone. You can go in the second and third round and get running backs and receivers, as we'll see later. But here I like the Miami Dolphins going offensive line, and I like Zion Johnson out of Boston College. Johnson is projected as a guard in the NFL. He played tackle at college. He's a versatile guy. He was a transfer, played at FCS level Davidson before moving up to Boston College. Here's why I like that. To transfer, it requires a little bit of maturity. You have to pick up and move everything in your life and start over. And he was able to do that successfully. He's going to have to do that again in the NFL, which to me means he's likely to start right away and be able to handle that transition very well. A good comp, a favorable comp to me is Brandon Scherff. This is the all-pro guard for Washington. Scherff was a tackle in college, moved to guard in the NFL, and has been a superstar. I think Zion Johnson could potentially follow that path. He's strong. He's tough. He's got a great frame. He's explosive. I think this is a great pickup for the Miami Dolphins here at pick 29.
I like this pick too. Boston College has really been quite notable at producing high-level talent in the offensive line position. Most notably that I can remember in recent memory be like Anthony Costanzo for the Indianapolis Colts, a great player. So I think looking to get an O-lineman from Boston College isn't necessarily a bad choice. They've self-proclaimed themselves O-line U. I don't necessarily think I would agree with that per se, but they do have a lot of good players: Bob Hyland, Pete Kendall, Dan Coppin, Tom Nalen. A lot of solid offensive linemen to make it to the NFL. So I think if you're Dolphins here and this guy's available, it's definitely worth a pickup here in the first round. But what could they do past that, Nick?
So in the second round at pick number 50, we like Kenneth Walker. This is a running back out of Michigan State. Kenneth Walker's claim to fame, his number one attribute is his vision. It's his cutting back against the grain and finding holes, not necessarily where the play was designed to run. They ran a lot of outside zone with Walker cutting back at Michigan State. The Miami Dolphins signed Mike McDaniel from San Francisco. They run a lot of outside zone and bootleg off of it. It's a perfect fit for Kenneth Walker, right? So when you run that bootleg play action kind of game with the outside zone on the other side of it, it forces the backside of the defense, whoever has contained, they have to roll with the quarterback. Otherwise, it just makes it an easy bootleg play. If they roll with the quarterback, those holes on the backside cut, the cutback for the running back when they run the ball, open up, and Walker is awesome at taking advantage of these. He was a good receiver at Michigan State as well. He's a complete back, carried the load, was not a fumbler at all, had great ball security. I think this is a great pickup for the Dolphins here in the second round.
Once again, another school who has produced notable players at that position in the NFL. Le'Veon Bell went to Michigan State. Walker also won the Doak Walker Award. So, I mean, another great indicator that running back could be great in the future. I like him. I think he's a hard runner. Like you said, I like a back who is versatile, also like Le'Veon Bell. Maybe it's a good comp. He can catch out of the backfield. He can run the ball hard. And I think that's one thing. The Dolphins have always been most successful when they had a great running back. You look at the years they had Ricky Williams. You look more recently, the Jay Ajayi years. That was one of their best years as a team. They had a solid running back in the backfield, good quarterback play, good receivers. They've always had some pretty good, solid receivers, Jarvis Landry, Devontae Parker. But I think adding a great running back like this who has some good pedigree as far as winning awards and putting high production in college is always going to be a good option for Miami, especially if you can get them in round 2. But what about round 3 or later, Nick? What do you think? What are you thinking there?
So the Dolphins have a really late third round pick. They have a pick number 101. This is when the compensation picks come in for free agents leaving the previous year. The player I like here is tight end Isaiah Likely out of Coastal Carolina, your neck of the woods, Myrtle Beach area, and not too far from where you live now. Here's what I like about Likely. He was not a big recruit coming out of high school. went to Coastal Carolina, kind of fought and scrapped his way into it being a starting role. Look, he's a good athlete. He's got a good size. He's 6'3", 240, but he doesn't have the best frame, doesn't really look as good in pads running as a lot of other prospects do, but he's tough. He's competitive. He became a better receiver as he went on his career, is a good athlete. He's versatile. He can put his hand in the ground. He can line up, offset the ball in like an H-back role, can line up in a slot receiver, like a kind of Y receiver position. I really like him for the Miami Dolphins, either as a complementary to a guy like Gesicki if they bring him back, or just in his own role. Isaiah Likely, I'm just going to make a big leap here. I think he's a steal here in the third round. Don't be surprised in a year or two if Likely becomes a star in the NFL. I think this guy is that good, and the Dolphins should jump all over him.
Like you said, I like his versatility. I like his toughness. And one thing you need to know about Coastal Carolina is they are not slouches. They were ranked in the top 10 twice in the past 2 years as a team. There was some weird hinky reasons as to why they got there, but they played some good talent. They played the BYUs of the world. They played the Liberties of the world. They played Appalachian State all every year they played them. It's really a tough team who has recently kind of blown up. And one thing I need you to know is this is no top tier NFL caliber QB, but Grayson McCall, the quarterback of Coastal Carolina, he was good and he could sling the rock. So Likely really has had a pretty solid, not almost NFL caliber QB throwing him the ball. So don't think that he wasn't utilized in the offense. I think this is really a great option. Like you said, he could be a diamond in the rough, and not many players from Coastal get noticed on the national stage. So I think like you've said, this could be the steal of the draft here at the third round position.
Yeah, absolutely. And to recap, we have the Miami Dolphins first round pick 29 going Zion Johnson, projected as a guard from Boston College, moving in from tackle where he played in college. In the second round, we have them getting Kenneth Walker, running back out of Michigan State. His cutback runs are going to be huge for Miami. And then we have potentially the steal of the draft in the third round, tied into Isaiah Likely to finish out our Miami Dolphins study.